Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Nishpas Ambiak Shalom Basitzchok. We're holding in Metzia Daf Pei. Starting the Mishnah on top. So the Mishnah. Hasoicher Saporo Lachroish Bahor V'Chorish Babiko. Someone rented a cow in order to plow in a mountain. And he went to plow in the Biko in the valley. Im Nishbar Kankan Potter. What is the Kankan? So Rashi explains, if you look at Rashi, the first Rashi, so this Rashi says, what's the case? The vessels, the instruments of plowing belong to the owner of the cow, and also his workers are with him. There is two people leading the animal. One is in front, not so clear to me if he's in front of the animal or in front of the machine, but in front and leads and directs the animal to the right direction. The second person is in the back, and he takes the plower, the metal, putting into the ground. Now, in this case, in the first case, the mountain is a place where there's more rocks, there's more stones, it's harder to plow. He took the cow from the mountain and put it in the valley. So he didn't do anything wrong, he improved it. But just in the words of the Mishnah, Nishbar Kankan, what's the Kankan? Kankan is the plow. Kankan is that metal that goes into the ground. But if he was supposed to use the animal in the Biko, and he used it in the mountain where there's more rock and harder to plow, so if the Kankan broke, he's responsible why he took it to that place. He was supposed to thresh, was supposed to make the animal work on kidneys, which is more slippery than regular grain. V'dash b'tfu went to regular grain, but if it was the opposite, lotush b'tfu v'dash b'kidneys chayim b'shekidz machlekes. We talk about, as Rashi points out, the animal slipped and got hurt. He's responsible for that. If the renter didn't do anything wrong, he did the right thing. He took it to the mountain where he's supposed to, took it to the beak where he's supposed to. So who of the people running the animal is responsible? The one who takes the front of the animals, that directs them. He's responsible. You directed to the wrong place. The one who took the back, the one who took the plow, or from the kids that are running the animal. The halacha is that it's the one who's taking the back, the plower, the metal that goes into the ground. So Toys asks over here, and why if he didn't change, so then you say that the renter has to pay. Why don't you say that these workers have to pay? So Toys says what Rashi says, the workers belong to the owner of the parah. So it's when the guy rents, he takes the parah with the workers. If he makes a decision to move, so he's responsible for it. If the workers are the ones that, if he didn't do anything wrong, so the workers are the ones who need to be the professionals, knowing how to use the plower. Says the Gemara, if it's a place where there's a very difficult area to plow, there's a lot of rocks and stones, so the leader and the one in the back has to pay. Rashi says why? Because it's a very difficult situation. They have to help each other, and it's a moment hamutal besofik. It's a doubt who's more responsible. So today says we pass a moment hamutal besofik. So that is not moment hamutal besofik. Pshat is they're both responsible. Therefore, they both have to pay. And the Chaynikot to answer that maybe Rashi here holds that there are cases where Rabbanan agreed to sumchus that when you have a suffix, you divide the money. It says, someone sells a cow to his friend, and he tells him, Parazu, this cow, it gores. It bites. It kicks. It sits on Kaylee and breaks it. So according to Rashi, means there was one mum, among the list, there's one mum which is true. But the rest is not true. There's some forbidden mum. He mixed up, he hid the real problem among many things which are not the problem. Because the guy says, I knew that many of the things you said are not true, so I assumed everything you said is not true. But mum zel mum acher, according to Rashi, means, it says this mum, he said the mum, and he says there's others. And there was nothing other. So then is Ein Zeh Mekatos, because he specified only one, which is the real one. So a person sends a maid servant to his friend. Says this maid is shoito, incompetent, nichfes, she falls, eclipse, mishumemes is like a type of craziness. The Shires and Shuvah speak about it. The mishumemes could be some kind of depression. It doesn't have to be a full shoito. And there is one mum among many others. Because he told them a whole list, most of them were not true, he assumes he's just lying. Mumzo mumak says one mum specifically than the others, ain't zemekatos. What happens if you have all the mum? So according to Rashi, Pshat is, I gave you a whole list and they're all true. Well, what's the meaning of that? Maybe it just sounds too exaggerated. That's not in the kartos, and that is, and in the which is really not a big chiddush. The Rif learns differently. The Rif learns, the gears of the Rif is not to have a mum echad in the first case, but have a mum acher. Meaning he gave a list of mum, and there was another mum that was not there. So the reason why it's a problem is because he didn't mention it. If you would mention it among the list, that would be okay. But he did not mention it among the list. Now, what does it mean? The mum zeh mum acher. So according to the Rif and the Rosh, he says that he showed him a mum, so this mum exists. So there's another mum that he couldn't find it, and then you find, and then he found that both were true. So he says, in this case, the Sal he said the truth. So here's the mum. The guy thought by seeing one mum and the other one he doesn't see, probably the other one does not exist. That's not the case. Now, according to this, what was the question of the Gemara then? Rashi learned the question of the Gemara is when I give you a list and only one of them is true, that's the first case of the Gemara. The third question is, I gave you a list and all of them are true. According to the Rif, the case is that according to the Rif, according to the Rif comes out that we said there was another mum similar to the case of the first Rashi. He showed similar to the second case. They showed him one mum. He said there's others. Talking about here when he didn't mention a lot of mum. But if he said here's one, he said by the way there's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many is if it's a whole list? Maybe then I'm not really taking it so seriously. Or it says as long as he mentioned the mum according to the Rif and he didn't hide any mum, that's not a mekartos. So the Mishnah. He rented a donkey to bring wheat. He brought on it barley. Barley is lighter than wheat. Chayav. We'll see in the Gemara in a second why. Tvua v'yivia teven. Tvua is a full-grown grain. Teven is only the straw. The straw is lighter. Chayav d'shan nefach koshe kemosui. The volume is as bad as the weight. We'll see in a moment in the Gemara. La'avi letech chitim v'yivia letech soyim. If he told him going to bring a weight of wheat and he brought the weight of barley, maybe a quantity of wheat, he brought a quantity of barley, potter, the barley is lighter. But if he add to the masoy, is chayav. So we'll see in the Gemara the shaila is if this sentence is a continuation of the previous sentence, or is this talking about when a person agreed to take wheat and he added to the wheat. How much is chayav? For a camel is a sale, for a chamor it's three kamim, which is half a sale. So let's jump into the Gemara because that's really to understand the Mishnah. So the Gemara. Volume is as bad as masui. Volume is bad once the weight is the same. Meaning, Abaye learns like this. If you have wheat, barley is lighter than wheat. You put wheat on the animal, it's 15 is the right masui, more than that is a problem. Barley, if you put it 15, it's not the same weight. But if he added he made the wheat the same volume he made the barley, the same volume as the wheat. He made the volume. The lashon of the Mishnah was nefach. The nefach is the volume. He made the volume same as wheat. Then it's the same problem. And if he adds to it more than what you're allowed to have, it's also even though the weight is lighter. So even though the barley is lighter than wheat, as long as it's the same volume as the wheat, it's the same issue. Right? So that's our Abaye holds. Rav holds no. If the weight is not the same, it's not a problem. But once you got to the same weight, you have now the weight of wheat, and you have the weight of barley, which is the same, which you added more barley. But the barley, by definition now, has more volume, because in order for the barley to be heavier or as heavy as the wheat, has to have more volume. That volume is considered to be a problem because you have the weight, plus you have an additional volume. That additional volume is adding to the muscle, it's a problem. The Gemara goes on and explains. Volume is like weight. You add on that 3 kav, you chayav, even though the weight is less than the weight of wheat. First of all, the weight has to be the same. You have to add volume to it. Says the Gemara Tanan, bring a Mishnah. Says look at our Mishnah. He told to bring the quantity of wheat. Instead of the quantity of barley, which is less butter. If you have to, it's chayav. My love, how much do you add? That's a 3 kavim. Meaning like Abaye. 3 kavim over the wheat, barley is a problem, even though the barley is lighter, because the volume is the same. So look, sale. He had it sale. Now look, which we'll see, this is the Melech Shleima in the Mishnah, but he puts out, we didn't mention it so much in the Mishnah. Sale is the difference between barley and wheat. Wheat, you can take 15 sale. And barley, in order to be the same weight of wheat, has to be 16. 1 sale more in the measurement of a donkey. So the Gemara, look, Tanya, but we look at the end of the Mishnah. What does it say in the Mishnah? How much do you add as a problem? Clearly, the 3 kavim on the more in the sense, talk about the case of wheat and barley. He didn't do a change. You sell being wheat and bread wheat. Soyim maybe soyim, sell being barley, bread barley. How much does he have to add to be a problem? So meaning, according to Abaye, the last part of the Mishnah talks about the case of the Mishnah. He brought instead of wheat barley. How much does he's allowed to add on the volume to be a problem? Shloisha kavim. So if he adds on wheat shloisha kavim or on barley in the same amount, shloisha kavim, it's a problem because the volume is the same. According to Rav, it's not a problem. Gimel kavim by barley because you can add up to a sale. You can add up to 6 kavim. But when you add the 6 kavim but when Mishnah says in the end shloisha kavim means if he brought wheat, he brought the same thing of wheat. How much can he add more? And it should be a problem. And he's chayav shloisha kavim. Second one, Toshma lavi letechitim v'vi with a pay on base told to be letechitim, which is 15 sale. V'vi shesh is a soyim, about 16 soyim. Chayav, that's 1 sale. Hashloisha kavim potuk raya to Rava. Tegama Abaye b'mechikos. How does Abaye know? This is talking about mechikos. Rashi explained in the second explanation that you have gedusha means when you pile it up over the board. Let's say you have a cup, you fill up over the board, the edge. And mechuka means is below the edge. So when it's mechuka, you didn't even fill it up till the end, then you have a full set to get it, because it takes 3 kavim to get to the edge, plus another 3 kavim that you can add. Talk about a kavla kosef. Now the board brings here the shiur of different measurements. Kavla kosef, Rashi says that the rule is that you go based on every time is one, you can add 1/30th to the amount. So when you have a human, it says to Rashi, you see me a proof that a human being can carry 30 sale, because you can 30 kav, which is 5 sale, which you can add to that only 1 kav. That's why, because you add always 1 out of 30. That's why it says kav l'kotif. For the shoulder of a person, you can have 1 kav, which is a 30 what he can carry. And there's over that the brought down before Shim is that we find in Sechet Soito, Daf Lamadalid, that there the Miraglim, it's the Miraglim, it says over there they could carry a not 5 sale, but 40 sale. So the Chorot says, how does that work with Rashi over here? And many say that was Dura Midbar, don't bring a Dura Midbar to us. Adriv La Reva. What's Adriv? Rashi explains that Adriv is a letech. That's what the 15 to a Reva, to a small boat. Kor 30, Lesfina, to a big boat. Shloisha Korim Lebunik Doyle to a big ship. We talk about a human being can add another kav. What are we talking about? He means to Doimatzi Bardas, so he can't carry it. He's a Bardas. Lishani, just throw it down. Why is the guy In other words, if you're adding one calf to the person's carrying, you have to pay for his damage. He shouldn't have carried it. He picked it up, he didn't know what it is, and right away he fell. Right away collapsed. You have to pay him more for carry. He could carry it. But he said, the normal carry is 15. You put me more, you have to pay me. The normal carry is 30. Give me more, you have to pay me. I mean, the guy thinks he can handle it. He thinks, why I'm not carrying? I'm a little weak today, but my capability is to take 30. To take 30, so this is 30. You didn't realize now 30 is 31. It's 30 kur because you can add always 1 out of 30th. So that's why it means you can add up to 1 out of 30th of what the carry on is. That means it needs to be 30 in a regular boat. So whenever you sell a boat, you should know you have to have at least one more to add to it. Just an interesting discussion over here, which is what is the problem over here when you add more to the person? Is it midin nezek? It's considered to be that he's mazikim. Or, and then what's enough kamina? If he's mazikim, we know that the Gemara Bava says, although a mazik has to pay $5. Or it's considered to be mamoino mazik. It's not him, but his mom is mazik. What he put on the shoulders. Or it's considered to be that it's b'shoikik. He doesn't know. So different discussion, how do you treat this hezek? The person put an additional one on the person carrying. So the Mishnah. All the umnim considered to be shem esachar. Why the shem esachar? Because what's a uman? Rashi says he takes it to his house. He's the shoemaker. Takes the shoe to the house, holds on to the shoe until the guy pays him. So he's benefiting from the fact he's holding on to the shoe, the shem esachar. The Kol Shomer, if the woman said, Toyil et Shachol v'aveh mois, says you can take the merchandise, pay me whenever you want. I have another 30 days. Then he's a Shem Mechinov, it has no benefit anymore. Shmor li ve'shmor lecho. I'll guard for you, you guard for me. Shem Esachol we'll see in the Gemara, not at the same time. One is guarding Monday, the other one is guarding Tuesday. Shmor li v'omer le'anoch lefone. He says, can you guard for me? He says, yeah, sure, put it right here. Shem Mechinov. It's not getting any benefit, it's a Shem Mechinov. Hilvoa lamashkoin, gave him a loan and took collateral. Shemisocho, why he has a mashkoin, where you can take the loan from. If you give him money, it's a shemechino. Because he doesn't have to give him a loan. It's a mitzvah he's doing. And Rashi points out before, according to the first one, the mitzvah, you get a reward. It's a schar mitzvah. You get a reward, we'll see in the Gemara. So therefore, that's the reward. According to me, you don't have a reward if it's schar mitzvah. He'll vow Paris, he lend him fruits, that if you would keep it by him, he'll get spoiled. Now he has money, which is better. That's why he's a Shem Esach. Abashom Rasha Adam Laskir Mashkoinoi Shaloni, Yad Poisek Voilach Alam Pishun Kameshi Avedo. A person that has a mashkin, you know what he can do in the mashkin? He can give it to other people to use. And by doing that, he is benefiting the honey because now the honey doesn't have to pay him back. So he has a mashkin worth 100. He gives it out, he rents it out for $10 a week. After 10 weeks, the honey doesn't have to pay back the loan. Says the Gemara, "Leim bastis the loy kamer." Chor Rishon Val Kamer. The Tani. Soicher Keitz Mishal. Remember, we have 4 shemim. Shemechinam, who doesn't get paid. Shemesachar gets paid. Shoyel, who's a borrower, and a soicher, who's a renter. Now the Gemara understands that a renter is like a uman, like a worker, because he's holding on to the item. So soicher Keitz Mishal. Rei or Yimer Mish Keshemechinam. Soicher has a different Shemechinam. Ridoim Keshemesachar. So the Gemara says a uman is like a soicher. And by us, a woman is a Shemesachar. That's all I can hear. So if you tell me, but here know the kashovi kulam regular today. The fact that he does not rent it, he's not giving it to anybody else. How about a Shemesachar? By a woman, he could have choose a different shoemaker. Choose this guy. He's a Shemesachar for that. Also by a renter. By here know the kashovi kulam regular today. He could have rented to somebody else. How about a Shemesachar? It should be a Shemesachar. So the Gemara says that's not a good answer. So more normal cases when a person pays a worker, he doesn't pay him the exact amount that it takes to hire him, pays a little bit more. That extra is a shemesachar. So it's also by a renter. Maybe you give him a little bit more. The Gemara doesn't like that chiluk. Elos is more 2 answers. Answer number 1 is he's holding on to this and doesn't have to run after him for money. So that in itself makes him a shemesachar. The fact he's holding on to it. And by a renter, he doesn't have that benefit. We go back to the Gemara over here. We have a different girsa. The Rameir is the one who says the Shem Sachar. So it's very good. Sheikh and Umar are the same thing, and they're Shem Sachar. Now here, the Mepharshim asks, do we need to have the set first? The first answer says he's holding on for the money. Does that still apply to the second answer or not? As the Beit Cheshuvah says, that's only according to the first answer. The first answer we said it, but once we got to the second answer, we said there's no question. Where our Gizas Rameir says that he is a din of a Shem Sachar. There's no question. I don't have to get to that. And Uman could be that the Uman does not have a din that because he's holding on for the money. And there's many enough communities to that. But let's just to point out the one enough communities just to mention between the first answer and the second answer, and applies that we need with the second answer and the first answer, is what happens if he really was paid. Let's say a guy brings a shoe to the shoemaker, and he pays him in advance. So now the shoemaker, by fact he's holding on to the shoe, doesn't benefit anything. He already got his money. So according to the first answer, he's not a Shem Sachar anymore. According to the second answer, maybe he will be. The Pesach wants to say that the second answer will agree to the first answer, and it will say the Rameir holds only by Soichin, not by a Uman. And by a Uman, maybe you won't have a din of Shem Sachar, even though by Soichin you will have a Shem Sachar. So that is part of the discussion here that the Poskim have. But say, we'll stop over here and continue from here in the next daf.